Hey everybody. So since this topic seems to have struck a nerve, and it's also the perfect opportunity for me to demonstrate a little bit of free buzzing for you, I figured I'd make this video. So I haven't played in a few days, mostly because I've been puking and shissing. Thanks, norovirus. But I've got a rehearsal today and a concert tomorrow with Boston Brass, and another rehearsal the day after that, and a concert the day after that. So I need to pull my shit together. And free buzzing is one of the ways that I do that. Oftentimes I'll do it before I even get to the horn as a preparatory step because it always ends up just being better. I immediately feel better. I get better response and everything if I go to the horn after having done some free buzzing. But of course, not all free buzzes are created equal, and I wanted to demonstrate to you what it is that I do. So you don't see very much movement here in the embouchure or the aperture. It's because my tongue is doing the movement. And this is kind of the more important part of the conversation about buzzing, free buzzing, or tone production on the horn altogether is what is your tongue doing? And mine is going ooh, ee, ooh, ooh, ee, right? So right? So that's what I'm doing. There's it's more of a tongue exercise than anything, and it's just, a secondary responsibility to make sure that the lips maintain an embouchure, a shape that is conducive to allowing for vibration. So my tongue going is effectively crimping the hose, so to speak, or putting a thumb over the end of the hose in order to determine how much air is flowing into the horn. And my lips don't have to make any of those decisions, don't have to do any of that work to hold back air, right? My tongue is determining how much air is going to flow past my lips. And my lips' only job is to just go blah, 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 and flap in the breeze. So, So this isn't very much air at all, and it's not necessary to put a whole bunch of air. An octave lower, it would be at least twice as much air. And that was the buzzing that I typically did as a kid. That was kind of in my formative years. And I can do that, and I can play music and play music with that. But that's not really what I do. What I find most helpful to strengthen my embouchure, not just strengthen, but to coordinate my embouchure to a really high degree in a way that's extremely responsive, especially to notes in the upper register, is doing the upper register buzzing. So if you can do that, then you're golden. You'll definitely be able to play the horn like that. Now, the differences between free buzzing and the way that I play. There is more openness in my aperture when I play than there is when I free buzz. I assume that has something to do with the fact that there's a hermetic seal with a mouthpiece, and it gives me a kind of a lock and load feature, which gives more stability to the whole embouchure setup in general, which allows the aperture to flap even wider and make bigger vibrations and more tone. So that is the difference. So also, another difference between the way that I play and the way that I free buzz is that with free buzzing, as I've demonstrated, there's very little, almost no movement in the lips or the aperture. You're only seeing the results of the movement of the tongue, basically. In the mouthpiece, my bottom lip is moving inward and outward a little bit depending on the note that I'm playing. So my low notes, the air generally goes up, and my high notes, the air generally goes down. So there's sort of in order to get the air to change directions like that, it happens because of the relationship between the top and the bottom lip. If the bottom lip is further out, the air goes up. If the bottom lip is further in, the air goes down. That is a nutshell explanation of what I do when I play the mouthpiece and what I do when I free buzz and how they differ. So that is no way to play the trumpet. So much more open for trumpet playing. Anyway, I hope that helps. Hey everybody.